Is not an alien force already among us?
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe.
Welcome to S4.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to S4, the official radio broadcast of Forest Moon Paranormal, with host Eric Cooper and our panel of enlightened minds. Coming to you live from FMP headquarters located in the heart of Skagit Valley, Washington, at the base of the majestic North Cascade Mountains. We will take you through a journey of exploration as we examine every aspect of the metaphysical. From spirits, UFOs, Bigfoot, and conspiracies, to grounding, protection, astral travel, and everything in between, leaving you with a better understanding and comprehension of the world around you, and the entities that inhabit it. Join us every Saturday night at Spreaker.com and locally on KSVU 90.1. Don't forget to check out our new webpage at www.s-4radio.com. Now sit back, open your mind, get ready. This is S4.
Good evening or morning, depending where you are, and welcome to S4, the voice of Forest Moon Paranormal, coming to you live from the FMP headquarters in the heart of the Cascade Mountains in Concrete, Washington. FMP is a highly active emergency response team for all aspects of the paranormal, from aggressive hauntings to alien interaction, Bigfoot and other cryptids, and everything in between is terrifying. S4 is the voice, where we discuss these things in detail. Not only can you find S4 right here on Spreaker, but for our local listeners, also on KSVU 90.1 FM from 10 to 12 p.m. Saturdays with pre-recorded shows. So, can you believe it's almost July? Yeah, I'm kind of holding my breath because, in September is Paracon. But tonight, it's the 22nd of June, and it's Midsummer. And if you go in the FMP group, I'm going off script here, but that's okay. I can do that. If you go in the FMP group, you're going to find some pictures taken in Iraq at Midsummer. You're going to see our Faerie altar and some other things. Pictures of the group. Iraqi sun. I got to say, I miss the Iraqi sun. And I think the Iraqi weather in general sometimes. Anyway, for some of this is a magical time of year. One of the times when the veil thins, with October being the other. Some consider this a fairy holiday, otherwise known as the Fae. So it was actually deemed Fairy Day, June 22nd, by Jessica Galbraith, a well-known artist of Fae and goddess lore. So I felt this appropriate tonight to discuss the Fae, as they are a part of the paranormal that many teams and the general public aren't very familiar with. The FMP team has had many different run-ins with various aspects of the Fae, and as with everything, we treat them all with respect and get them home, or if necessary, teach the clients how to appease them. So tonight with us we have Cole Wegleitner, our FMP technical analyst and owner of Statement of Sound DJ Services, Chris and Brent Dodge from the FMP Extended Care and Astral team, Thomas McAllier, our Boots on Ground team, and Don Davidson, a fellow veteran and becoming a regular member of S4. He and I both honored Midsummer in Iraq together in Talafar, or Talafa, in 0506. It's a very magical time. So how are we all doing tonight?
Perfect.
Wonderful. I'm doing good. Good.
You know, as with always, and bear with me tonight, folks. I am sick, but the show must go on. So if my voice gets real low, then you'll know it's still me. But anyway, as always, you know, I send the promos out twice a week, once on Fridays and once on Mondays, depending on what the various groups I'm in, what their rules are. And I got a very rude response from an individual that, because, you know, in the promo, I talked about, you know, June is the Faerie month. It is. Bear in mind, fairies can, you know, fairies are around us all the time. There's no set time. There's no set place.
Oh, you too. Good night, baby.
But
sorry, guys.
That's all right. But, you know, I guess she thought that this particular promo was saying, yeah, you know, June is the only time the fairies are around. No, actually, they're not. And she also read in that apparently she thinks we disrespect them. Well, no, you don't disrespect the Fae. Do you, Brent? So, the FMP team, we have actually had quite a few encounters with Fae. We have Fae here at headquarters. We have an agreement with them. They don't come here. We don't go and mess with them. The Fae is not for everybody. They have their own world, their own realm. They cross into our realm. And that's where Midsummer comes in. Because October, being Samhain, or Halloween, is when everybody thinks the veil's the thinnest. This is when all the spirits and the skeletons and the zombies and everything else comes walking through the veil. Well, I don't know. What do you think, FMP? Do you think there is a veil? I don't see a difference. Do you guys?
No. Honestly, I don't see a difference at any point in the year.
No. To be completely honest, our cases don't increase or decrease around October or in June or any time there's supposed to be a veil. I do think there's a veil, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's what people perceive it as, though. Spirits cross over whenever they want. The Fae cross through whenever they want. There's no, oh, wait, it's opening up. Here it comes. Let's jump in now. No, it doesn't work that way. And no, I really haven't taken any goofy medication. I'm just, in one of those moods.
I want some.
I usually take my happy meds after the show. It keeps me from...
Honestly, the way I think of the veil is it's like a front door. It's just we don't know how to open it.
So, and that's a really good point. I like that analogy because the way you open it is through Ouija boards or tarot cards or the pendulum. Tools of communication are ways of opening that door. But does the door come flying open in October and June? No, it doesn't. In some groups, and I get that. Everyone's got their opinion. Everyone's got their perception. Some groups would say, oh, yeah, we see more spirit activity in October than any other month. Well, could it possibly be because you're anticipating it and you're looking for it? So you're actually subconsciously bringing it in. There's always
either that or they're seeing things where there's not actually anything.
Well, and that's possible, too. Oh, tripping. So Trippin's in the chat, and I know you've been there for a minute, but I've been on my rant here. So yes, if you so some of the cases we've been on involving Fae, you do have to show respect. You know, some of the signs of Fae are dragonflies. If a dragonfly actually approaches you, and in a protective posture, you know, I actually had a station in Georgia, and I was right next to a creek. Now, if you're familiar with the South, there's cottonmouth, well, a lot of poisonous snakes in the South. And out of the blue comes this dragonfly, and he actually pushed me back, because you're not expecting a dragonfly to run into you. But he literally ran into me twice on purpose, and he pushed me back. And about the time I took a step back, a snake shot across the creek in my direction. So they are very protective. If you're in tune with Fae, they will take care of you as long as you don't disrespect them. And tonight we're actually going to go over some different Fae types. So Faerie is what is the most common one that people are familiar with. They think of Tinkerbell when you talk about Faerie. Yeah. And that's just one type. And there's a whole bunch of types of Faerie. You know, because every plant has their own spirit, essentially. And those are Faerie. You guys are too quiet tonight. Is everyone here still?
I'm here.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm here. We're listening.
Yeah, you're supposed to be talking.
Keep ranting.
No, I don't want to rant.
I like it when you rant.
I'm going to lose my voice if I keep ranting.
All right, well, let me break in here for a second.
Of course.
Just so everyone knows, S4 can now be found on iTunes, Google Play, the Stitcher app, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and hopefully soon the Paranormal Radio app. All the apps can be found on your phones, on your tablets, on your computers, wherever the heck you need to.
We're also working on Pandora, aren't we?
Yes, we are, but they are fairly hard to get into. So we
I just had to throw it out there. And hey, Alon's Joe.
When you're searching for these, you need to search for either S4, and it'd be S-4, or Eric Cooper. Either one of those will bring these up on any of those apps, and all of our archives are on there.
No, don't bring up my name. No. You never know what you're going to bring up. But, okay, whatever. If that's what it takes, S-4 should be.
Guys, it was a long time ago, and he needed the money. Calm down.
No. I can't remember. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was iHeart. I actually looked at. I was looking for S4. I couldn't find it, and it came up as S4 with E squared, with our original logo, back when Markham and I ran the show. And I mean, oh God, that was 2 years ago. So yeah, just look for S4 Paranormal Radio. And Tripp says he's got pics. Yeah, good luck with that. It wasn't me.
Which one? Because you said you didn't remember which one.
Yeah. So, also, Cole, what do we have next Friday night?
We got bingo.
Mm-hmm.
It is coming, guys. 6 p.m. the doors open. 7 p.m. we start calling. It's an $18 buy-in at the Salish Grange.
And if you're confused about which Grange that is, it's the Grange down Highway 9 going north from Cedral Woolley. Yes, it is still open. So, so someone brought it up at a meeting last week that Grange is still open. It's so cool. Yeah, it's very much active and very still open. And a lot of our FMP events are going to be held there because it's very convenient. And if you're on Facebook, you'll start seeing some different gifts and some different promos. And you're going to find a really cool GIF that Izzy made of an alien standing behind a guy, and it says, "This is what happens if you don't get your Paracon tickets." So where can we get Paracon tickets, Cole?
We can get Paracon tickets at fmparacon.com. Also, there's a link for them at www.s-4radio.com. So you can get them online. And don't forget to get your VIP tickets, which are just amazing this year.
They cover everything, including the Ghost Walk with Ross Allison and Mike Morin. That's the best Ghost Walk you're ever going to be on.
And you get a swag bag.
You do, and a cool swag bag it is. And also look for us at the 4th of July parade. Look for Bigfoot. He's hiding in the trees. At the Cedar Woolley 4th of July parade. Look for the FMP float.
Parade. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, Don, how's the world of California doing?
Hot as hell, and just as crazy, I guess.
Well, do you expect anything different in California?
No, but it's when the heat comes out, everyone gets angry here, so it's pretty bad.
Oh, outstanding! Nathan's going to Paracon, and actually, if your aunt is Jamie is going to be volunteering at Paracon, so of course she's going to be there.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So, Eric, why are dragonflies considered fae?
That's a good question. And I don't have a good answer for that. Other than
I thought they were just like flying bugs. I mean, I love dragonflies, but that's weird.
Okay, a good analogy, and it's a stupid analogy, but you ever see the movie Ant-Man?
No, but I've seen the movie Dragonfly, and I love it.
Okay, well, Ant-Man shrinks, and he rides on ants. So, and like I said, it's a stupid analogy, but fae work with cats. Some fae types hate cats and dogs. But, so we always talk about aliens, and there's, thousands of races of aliens. Well, fae are the same. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of races of fae. Now, there's a lot of misconception. People think, well, who's to say that fae aren't really aliens? Well, they're not. No. Completely different. There's aliens and there's fae. But
is it because dragonflies a lot of times are associated with loved ones that have passed that bring back messages to us on Earth? I wonder if that's part of the category for them as being fae.
No, your soul messengers are usually ravens and crows, and of course banshee, and we'll get to the banshee. Okay. But no, so dragonflies are essentially a source of travel for the fae. You'll find,
okay.
And you can't see them, but a lot of fae will ride on dragonflies.
Oh.
So
well, that helps. Yeah.
And I think I've told the story before. They're warriors as well. And when we were actually in Kuwait, and we were getting ready to go on a 3-day convoy into Iraq in Balad in 2004. And so the whole battalion was going, and when you're talking battalion, you're talking, 4 companies, which you figure 300 to 400 personnel per company. You're talking roughly 1,200 troops. That's a lot of vehicles. And we're doing this convoy in 3 days from Doha, Kuwait. Actually, I don't think we were in Doha. We were in, I don't remember where we were. But it was a 3-day convoy from Kuwait into Balad. And we had roughly 2 to 3 weeks of desert training, of drive-by shooting training. Sounds funny, but it kind of is a funny story because it was all Special Forces and Delta Force that were training us. And they said, well, now you can tell your buddies that the Army actually taught you how to do drive-by shootings. And, well, he was actually absolutely right. They did.
They probably do drive-by shootings in a gangster, though.
No, we would hit the gangster, but we won't go there. Gangsters aren't trained by the government. So the night before we were getting ready to roll out, myself and about 5 other pagan troops got together and we decided to do a protective rite over the convoy. And, imagine 5 or 6 soldiers gathered around candles, and, of course, we had looky-loos, and what are they doing? Oh, my God, it's Cooper the Witch. Oh, what's he doing? Kind of attitude. And you just ignore them. And we got done. About 2 hours later, we went back, went to sleep. The next morning, I get, Sergeant Cooper, oh, my God, you got to see this. I'm like, what? And I got up, stepped outside the tent, and there was literally millions of dragonflies all heading towards Iraq. Now, skeptics are going to say, well, it was just, the migration time, whatever. Well, this only happened in one day. Not even one day. It's only happened in 2 or 3 hours before we were about to ready to roll out. So, say what you will, I kind of have my own ideas of what they were doing. We did a 3-day convoy with not a shot fired, no attacks. We heard attacks off in the distance, but it wasn't on us. And so, yes, they are warriors. They are guardians. They are travelers of the Fae. And so that's where the dragonfly fits in. Answer your question?
Yes. Makes sense to me.
I wouldn't always believe it, other than I've done research on this for about 30 years as well, longer than I've been doing paranormal when it comes to Fae. So we're going to go over some Fae types. Now, every culture, from the Celts to the Scots to the Germanics, they all have their own names. They all have their own belief when it comes to Fae. You've got different symbolisms. Some say the Fae don't like bells. Others say the Fae are attracted to bells. I think the common one, other than with the exception of the Dryads, is they hate iron. So one way to keep Fae away is to use an iron nail in your doorway. And I say with the exception of the Dryads, is because by some beliefs, you're supposed to gift the Dryads with iron. So do research on it. Like I always say, and I haven't said it in a while, but when it comes to S4, do your research. Don't just go by our word. Research it. And like I tell the team, when it comes to research, I look for 5 separate independent sources that are going to say basically the same thing before I'm going to believe it. I don't just jump on YouTube and go, oh my God, they said it on YouTube, it must be true. No. And Tripp is asking, isn't early horseshoes iron? And yeah, and that's funny too, because in Germany, it's different because they put horseshoes over the door for a different reason. It's supposed to bring fortune and good luck. And so I thought I was being, cultural. I put this horseshoe upside down. I didn't know it was supposed to be facing up, because if it's facing down, then all the luck is pouring out. And this German says, oh, your luck is pouring out. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you're supposed to have the horseshoe facing up. I'm like, that makes sense. And I fixed it. But so, yeah. So, yes, the original horseshoes were made of iron. So, if you put horseshoes over your door, and yeah, it's to catch the luck. You're absolutely right, Trippin. But yeah, if you put a horseshoe over your door, if it's the old iron horseshoe, it in theory will keep the Fae out. But in all reality, if you ask them to stay out, they will generally abide by your wishes. It's a matter of respect. Now, if you were to set up a fairy altar outside, and you don't leave something in the altar for the Fae, you're going to piss them off. And we've had clients that found that out really quick. And so, signs of fairy attack or Fae attack is they have very small teeth, and if they bite, they'll leave little tiny pock marks or little tiny welts, but a whole lot of them. And I always remember too the specific case where we had the video where you could actually see the cat in the video being picked up. You guys remember that one?
No.
I don't.
No, I don't either.
Okay.
I think I was around for that one.
Yeah, I think that was right before you guys came onto the team. That was like a year and a half ago. And oh, don't make me laugh tonight, Joe. So Joe says I'd be like opening a McDonald's and not serving hamburgers. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So yeah, there's a video, and you can actually see the cat wasn't happy, and then you can actually see it being picked up by an unseen force in the video. There's no way in hell it was photoshopped or any kind of fakery. So yeah, Astral went in, and they discovered that there was a Fae, a group of Fae that were in the bathroom. They had just remodeled the bathroom. They also had just done some intense landscaping. Now, if you're not sensitive to the outdoors, and so they like flowers. If there's groups of a lot of flowers, if there's any particular spot on your land that seems sacred, whether it's got willows, whether it's got specific trees, I would leave it alone, or I would just leave. What's the word I'm looking for here? Come on, help me out, guys.
An offering.
Offering, right? Honor the Fae. Otherwise, you're asking for problems. So we helped the Fae get home, and and we got accused. I guess it was a couple years ago now. So you guys think you're the judge, jury, and executioner, and you just go in and kill everything. Well, no, actually we don't. We try to find the root cause of the problem, and if we can, we help either appease spirits, get a contract with the spirit and the client for an agreement, or we pass them over. If it's a malevolent entity, we try to figure out where it came from, and if we can just get it home. Otherwise, we do go to combat. We have no problem going to combat, but why just go in and kill everything if you don't have to? If there's a way you can figure out how to get it home without causing any harm, then do it. Also reminds me of the trolls. And we actually contacted our Keith about this case. But come to find out, they were actually a troll race that came from underground. And somehow a wormhole, a portal, whatever, opened up. And they didn't want to be there. They didn't know how they got there. So we just helped them back across the portal and closed and sealed the portal. Case closed. They got home. They're happy. Client's happy. They have their home back. So the first race we're going to look at is the ass race. And I have very basic information on these races. Half these races you're never going to see or deal with. But they're still interesting to say the least. So the ass race. these are small, delicate female fairies. If they are exposed to sunlight or captured, they will melt away into a pool of water.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, a lot of these are interdimensional. A lot of these, they have their own world. They cross dimensions. They can, anyway. So if you look in your yard and you see a dark green patch of grass in a circle, that's what you call a fairy ring. Some people say, oh, don't go into the fairy ring because you might disappear. Oh, well, you know, that's old folklore. Can it happen? It could, I suppose, if the portal opened up. But it's rare. And, you know, there's another one called The Changeling. They actually made a movie called The Changeling. And so another lore is Fae will come up, a certain race will come up, leave their very ugly Fae kin and take a human baby. And what's left is a changeling. It is actually a Fae baby, I guess, without coming up with another word for it. Next is the Banshee. And we'll go into the Banshee more later. So basically the Banshee is a female spirit fairy. It's attached to certain families. It's usually generational. So basically if someone is going to die, you're going to hear the Banshee screaming. Now, not to be scared, because it doesn't always mean a death. It can also mean a change or a new birth. It doesn't mean someone's going to die. That's the big misconception. You want to jump in there, Brent, and tell your Banshee story?
Yeah. Knew you were going to ask that.
Uh-huh.
I just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
I've also read that banshees can also be a sign of a changing of era.
Right. And again, they're in one family line. And that's one thing. Anytime we have a client that talks about hearing a banshee, you ask if the grandparents or the parents, and it's kind of weird because we have the alien abduction is also generational. Makes you wonder if there's a tie there. Not that the banshees are aliens, because I don't believe in that, but it seems to me that a lot of these family tie issues could be both Fae and abductor, Fae and alien. And something maybe if you guys want to take notes, something we might want to look at for research purposes.
You said, Eric, that they scream. When you use the word scream, does that mean they sound human? As a human scream?
Like a woman screaming. Like a woman screaming.
Oh. Okay, Brent's here with this story.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, but yeah. What part do you want to hear?
The Banshee.
Just the Banshee? Okay, good. Because that was the same case as I was instructed to poke something.
Oh, I know. Just the Banshee.
Well, I didn't get to really see her, if I remember right, but I did hear about this woman that I kind of went over to the other helper with, and kind of got a glimpse. But I did hear her scream a little bit, and it was just a little bit different than an actual human, if I remember right. But it was quite interesting because I think she just kind of. I think the other one that was there kind of got scared, and I'm like, why don't you just try to listen to her and see what's going on? Kind of thing.
In astral.
Yeah, sorry, in astral.
Yeah, that was the astral team, and yes, the other member actually, if I remember right, turned her head, and the Banshee was right there and screamed in her face.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah. Oh, no. So, sorry, Trip. I'm talking to the team. The team needs to take notes so we can do further research later on whether there's a tie with banshees and alien abductees. And so Trip's in there panicking, going, hold on now, we're supposed to be taking notes? Wasn't told about a test. No, there's never a test here on S4.
Yes, there is. The test is next Friday.
It is. You better start studying now on every episode of S4 in the last 3 years. Better go back. And that means you got to go on the
and
YouTube
you got to have it
channel.
in bingo.
Well, and that means, you have to go on the YouTube channel because the YouTube channel's got the first year. What's in Spreaker right now is only about the last year and a half.
That's not true.
It's not. What am I missing?
No, actually,
It goes back further than that.
November 2017.
Okay, good. I'm going to have to clean that up then because we're actually at 36% on our Spreaker account. Oh. So what I do is usually try to keep the last year and a half in the archives on Spreaker and the rest go to YouTube, our YouTube channel. So next we have the Bogles. And again, I have very limited information on a lot of these races. I'm giving you some names. You guys can go out and do your own research. A lot of them are cultural, like I said. A lot, the Scottish have their own Fae races, and the Irish have their own. And you can go back to China. Even the China talks about Fae. Every culture has their own Fae. So the Bogles are generally evil-natured goblins, although they are more disposed to do harm to liars and murderers. I don't find that too evil. If they want to go after a murder, by all means, go get a boy.
They only go after liars and murderers. I'd say that they're actually a pretty good Fae.
Well, they're not doing their job, are they?
Yeah, they could probably work a little harder.
They could. Okay, so next, and Kayla was in there talking about these guys a couple seconds ago. The brownies. I think Dobie was a brownie. I like brownies. And not the ones you eat. The Fae.
I think that's what Kayla was talking about.
I like the edible brownies too, but not the laced ones. But so the brownies, they're English and Scottish folklore. They're a small industrious fairy. They inhabit houses and barns. These are the guys that take care of your animals. They take care of your home. But if you show them disrespect, they don't take care of your home anymore. They destroy it. So rarely seen, they're heard at night cleaning and doing housework. Cream or bread and milk were often left as gifts for them. Now, if I remember right, have you guys heard of the fairy tale? And folks, if you're in the FMP group, you're going to find about 20 different 19 to 1800 century books on fairies. And, they're like 400 or 500 pages. I'm not going to print that out. But go read. The Fae are really, really interesting creatures to read up on. And very misunderstood and really not looked at when it comes to the paranormal. And I think you'd agree with me, Don. As a pagan, the Fae are a normal part of our life.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why and that's why FMP does what it does, in the way we do it. Because now I'm going to clarify real quick. FMP is every religion. That's why I did that poll here a couple weeks ago about what religions were in the group. And FMP started in Iraq with a group of pagan soldiers. That's why I say paganism is the core of FMP, but it's not the belief of everyone in the group or the team for that matter. I mean, Cole's Catholic, Chris and Brent are Christian, Don, Thomas, and I are pagan. In fact, I think I put you closer to Druid. You're studying more Druidry right now, aren't you, Don?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm kind of reading more on the Morrigan right now and focusing on learning about that.
Okay. Morrigan's not Druid. She's Celtic, by all means.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one-on-one discussion. We don't even talk about Morrigan on S4.
Yeah.
Eric, I got a question for you.
What's that?
Okay, with the fairies, how do I say this? I got to figure out how to word it. With fairies, people with gifts that can see spirits, obviously they should be able to see the fairies, but like I don't have that kind of a gift.
Right.
So can fairies show themselves to who they want, or is it just special people with special gifts that can see them?
They will show themselves to who they want. They're more.
So they can show themselves to anybody.
Yes.
Oh.
Think of them as even better hiders than Bigfoot.
Oh.
No way.
Although I do think Bigfoot will show himself to people he wants to. I honestly do.
Well, now come on, Eric. Look how small they are. Of course they can hide good.
What, Bigfoot?
No, Larry.
When he shows himself, it's in a trench coat.
But for all we know, he's the best place to hide anything is in plain sight.
Yeah, you
So
never know.
we could be looking at Bigfoot every day and not know it too.
Okay,
if he's close, it's right there.
So Nathan says, aren't the multiple pagan groups like Slavic, Germanic, Somanesco? So that goes to culture. And so it has nothing to do with coven trip. So a coven is specific to witches or Wiccans. When you talk about druids, you're talking about a grove. You hear the stories most of the time. A witch's coven is 13. They can go beyond that. And no, they don't believe in Satan. Satan's a Christian and an Islamic belief. We don't have a Satan in paganism. But so getting back to Nathan, so a lot of the Celtic beliefs, pagans today mix and match cultures to basically blend their version of paganism. A lot of the lore that you hear does come from the Celts. You talk about Germanics. You're talking about the trolls, the dwarves of the Black Forest, and like I said, every culture's got their own stories, their own lore, and it's all fascinating to read. Does that make sense? Now, if you want to talk about a pagan country, look at Latvia. Latvia is a pagan country. Anyway, so and some of these fae are hard to pronounce, so bear with me. You got the dying mate, or translated as the good people. They are the fairies of contemporary Irish folklore. And then you got dwarves. I like dwarves. Dwarves are cool. Now, apparently Scott from Spaced Out Radio, Dave Scott of Spaced Out Radio, you can tell I'm brain dead tonight, has become one with the gnomes. I guess we'll find out at Paracon, won't we?
I still think that if we ever encounter a gnome, you give him Dave's address, and we'll really see.
Well, even Dave talks about he saw the little people up in the mountains when he was Bigfoot hunting. So he's got, even he's got no doubt about the Fae because he's actually had encounters, and his daughter's even seen a fairy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, dwarves. So dwarves are stocky, and I think dwarves are the first race that actually caught my attention because there's a really good book out. I can't remember the name of it, but it was actually went into the whole lifestyle of dwarves from what the husband does, what the wife does, how they raise their kids. I mean, it was really detailed, really cool. and Joe says the gnomes do know where Dave lives. I have no doubt. No doubt. And Tripp says, please dress a kid up as a gnome and have them run up with a bowl. Yeah. That'll be at Paracon. So the dwarves are stocky, short, and powerful creatures. They do live in the woods. They mature at 3 years old and are gray and bearded by the age of 7. They have beards. Dave would love them. It is said that they cannot appear in the light of day or they will turn to stone. I think they have, don't they have cartoons based on that too, don't they? Anyone?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where they turn to stone?
I know there's Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, there you go. No, what? So who are the, who are the blue people? Smurfs. Weren't the Smurfs kind of gnomey?
Not really. They,
Or the Smurfs
I don't know what you would have classified
the
them
Smurfs
as.
are, okay, the Smurfs are just Smurfs. They're not on my list. Because they're not real.
Well, that's not. Don't even.
So, however, there are potions and spells that empower them to endure sunlight. So, this, getting back to Midsummer for a second, this is a time when a lot of pagans actually do fairy magic. I even have a spell book that talks about going out in midnight in the full moon and pulling. You're supposed to pull. Oh God, help me out, Don. Maybe you've heard of this one. You're supposed to pull a fern frond and rub it over your eyes, and it helps you see the Fae. Have you heard of that one?
I have not. No, I have not heard of that. That sounds fun though.
Don't it?
Sounds like an experiment to see if I can see them.
Right? Oh, I've got potions and whatnot to help with that, but yeah. So Dryads, Matthew. Hey, it's good to see Matt in the. So Matt's on the FMP team. Hope he's feeling better. I'm catching the crap he's got. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
I got
Way
it
to
from
go.
you. Yep. Anyway, so the Dryads we will get to later on in the show if we have time. Some of these do require a little more discussion, but I'm going over the basic list right now. So we've talked about Dryads on S4 before. A couple of different shows, just briefly. Again, the Dryads are the spirit of the tree. And I think I was asked by a listener or one of you guys if the Dryad dies when the tree is cut down. And no, they can move to another tree. They're, oh God, what, I want to say they're sylphs, but that doesn't sound right. Do you know off the top of your head, Don?
No, not at the top of my head.
Okay. So, Dryads, they are happy, playful, and wood nymphs. There we go, nymphs. That's right, yeah, okay.
That's it.
So, you have to really read. Yeah, you have to research with a grain of salt because I have read somewhere. They're very sexual, and you can go have sex and have sex with a Dryad. No, I don't think so. Can you imagine? No, I'm not going to have sex with a tree. No.
I guess it would be possible to attempt it. You might not come out with everything.
No. That just, no. So, again, research with a grain of salt. And be careful what you believe and what you try. So, Dryads are happy, playful wood nymphs that dwell in the trees. Some say their favorites are willow trees. Others say they prefer oak. The Druids are believed to have turned to them for inspiration. And I can see that. I can see Dryads being more in tune with Druids, to be honest with you. And next we have the Elves. So, Elves, another name by which trooping fairies are known. So, trooping fairies are very Irish. And there's a reason. So, if you look at the houses in Ireland, you'll find the front door is in alignment with the back door. Because there's what's called the trooping fairies, and when they go on raids, and it's not a raid like they go raiding houses and things like that, but they go on fairy raids. These are like parties, and you'll hear music, but you don't know where it's coming from, and you'll have a whole troop of fairies, and they'll go walking through the front door. Now, they walk through your house and out the back door, so you need to have the back door like right parallel to the front door, or they're going to wreak havoc in your house. I'm reading the chat room here real quick. And we'll get to that, Kayla. Kayla's saying, is the Scottish water horse, Kelpie, classified as Fae or cryptid? No, it's Fae. It does fall under the Fae realm. And we'll get to the Kelpie, actually. So,
if you want to get into that, I'm pretty sure the Kappa would fall under Fae, and so would the Undine.
Which one?
The Kappa and the Undine.
Oh, the Undine. Yeah.
Undine.
Yeah.
My mistake.
The Undine does. So they can be divided into the Scottish Seelie and Unseelie courts. So, and that's a whole discussion between the Seelie and the Unseelie. When it comes to Celtic folklore, the Irish folklore specifically, the Seelie courts, and I can't remember the exact details of them. Basically, the Seelie courts were the good guys, the Unseelie courts were the bad guys. Years ago, well, God, centuries ago, humans and the Fae actually intermingled until one of the kings of, I believe it was the Seelie court, got mad because a human had relations with a Fae. And they said no more, basically. And he took them all basically underground. And ever since then, there's been no more, you can't see the Fae anymore. I'll be proven wrong because I don't have research in front of me as far as that goes. And I don't have it memorized. I used to. That was years ago. So that's the Scottish Seelie and Unseelie courts. They were believed by some to cause disease in cattle and humans, to sit upon the chest of a sleeper, giving them bad dreams. So the German word for nightmare is Alpdrucken, or elf pressure. And so now, if you want to get technical, when you're talking about the creature that people depict as sitting on your chest while you're sleeping, they call that the oh God, I'm having a lapse of, help me out here.
Brain aneurysm?
No.
Oh.
So, okay, real quick, Matt. So, no, are gnomes nice or mean? So it's like humans. Not all humans are nice. Some are mean. So same with gnomes. Some gnomes, they don't like humans. For the most part, you can work with gnomes.
The ones that carry the shovel that are mean.
Yeah. I'm still trying to think here. Okay. Anyway, we'll get back to that. I'll try to remember which one it is. They're basically, help me out here. It's the one that people see, the demon that has sex with men and the demon that has sex with women.
Incubus.
There you go. See, I knew you would get it. Yeah. So I think with some of these lore, they confuse the elves with succubus and incubus. So next we have the Fiorin, a type of diminutive fairy in the folklore of England. It's also the collective word for fairies who are usually friendly towards mankind, or at least neutral. They are depicted as small creatures with a green skin and wearing red hats. They enjoy singing and dancing. Next is the Fyrdarig, pronounced Feardang. These fairies delight in rather gruesome forms of pranks, so it might be best to leave them alone. They can assume any visage they wish. So basically, you're talking about a shapeshifter. So again, what you need to take away from this is be careful which fae you try to work with. And you know it's bad when you're looking through witch books that you have warning signs. Do not mess with this fae. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Oh, so
although of course you got those people that they completely ignore the warning.
And those are the ones that FMP winds up cleaning up after. But, yeah. So, this brings the next point, fire fairies. So, think of elementals. So, can anyone see gnomes and fairies? Matt wants to know. Only if they want you to see them, for one. And if you have abilities, and you can see spirits, you can probably see fae. If you try hard enough. You have to know what you're looking for, though. Sometimes they'll show themselves in signs.
Can honestly say I've never seen them, but sometimes it's like you get that feeling that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's sometimes them.
Especially if you're in the woods or if you're by streams. And if you're in your house and you have things that, shiny things especially, that go disappearing, you might have fae. If you see sparkles in the corner of your eye, oftentimes it's either high blood pressure, a migraine, or it's fae. Again, anytime someone comes up with, I'm having sparkles in the corner of my eye, what, do you get migraines? Yeah, then it might be just a migraine coming on. But you always want to rule out medical and sometimes psychiatric when it comes to fae, but not always. So fire fairies. So if you're in Forest Moon Grove, which is our headquarters group, and that's the one that handles pagan issues, you'll actually, and I'll actually find the pictures and I'll put them up in FMP. But you'll actually see, were you at our Llamas Festival, Don?
I don't think I was able to go to that one.
Okay. Because in that one, so I took pictures of all 4 of our quarter candles being extinguished. And you can actually see, now bear in mind, folks, these are tea lights. They don't make a spark. They don't make, they don't flare up when you put them out. But in all 4 pictures, you can see the elementals leaving. So elementals, you have earth, air, fire, water. And then you have the 5th element, which is spirit. That's why I like the movie The 5th Element. It's so cool. But fire fairies. There are 2 types of fire fairies, the flame spirits and the elementals. They have the ability to create and destroy. Garden fairies. You'll find these fairies among the flowers, dancing and playing, wearing flowing gowns with transparent wings. Think dragonflies. These guys are the ones that you'll find riding dragonflies most of the time. At dawn, they pour out blessings upon the world. Next, we have gnomes. These are earth elementals. The elderly people who live to be about 1,000 years old and believed to be the healers of the fairy world. They live underground. They guard the treasures of the earth. Gnomes are wonderful metal workers and have a weakness for gemstones and things that glitter. So when you're talking about fae that might take your shiny stuff, it might be gnomes. Next we have goblins. This is the name used for the uglier species of fairy. They are small and malicious, usually band together as they have lost their abilities to operate independently, and they can appear as animals or are usually controlled by a mage for evil doings. I hate my nose right now. Next, you have the Ragged On. These are Welsh water fairies who occasionally take human men for husbands. Oh, no, that ain't going to happen. Oh. Would you go, Cole?
Huh?
Would you go? If a Welsh water fairy came and said, I'm taking you for my husband.
No, because I'm allergic to fish, so that probably wouldn't work out.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It's a failed marriage already.
Sorry, I don't like the taste of fish.
Nope. And now we have the Gwillian. These are Scottish fairies. They are mostly seen as a hairy men or hideous female spirits who waylay and mislead travelers by night. And that's common. You'll find a lot of trickster fae that actually mislead travelers. And, that's you can read that all through Celtic folklore. Mountain fairies like to sit on rocks on either side of a mountain path and silently watch passerbys. So with that, we're at the top of our first hour. When we come back, we'll carry on. I hope you all are enjoying this. We haven't actually done a good fae show in God. I think we did fae the first year, but I don't think we haven't really touched on all the different fae races since then. So Midsummer is a perfect time for it. Now, if you have any questions as we go, by all means ask as we go along. And we'll see you after the break.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We've had several days of 80-degree plus weather here in Concrete, Washington. My family's favorite way to keep cool in this heat is to stop by Java Zone 2 and grab a delicious iced latte for me and a blended mocha for my husband. Our son just loves their creamy milkshakes, and our daughter can't get enough of their ice cream. The best part is, Java Zone 2 is conveniently located just off Highway 20 beside Loggers Landing. And I'm proud to shop local for a business that has been a staple of the Concrete and Upriver community since it opened its doors in 2010. So if you're looking for a way to keep cool in this summer heat, come check out Java Zone 2. They're fast, friendly, and local.
Hello, my name's Cole Wegleitner with Statement of Sound DJ Productions. We do mixing, monitoring, recording, and editing for all your audio needs. For our local listeners in the Skagit area, we are taking bookings for your 2019 events and parties. We have a wide array of music from any genre. Please allow us to help you make these memories last forever. Contact us at 360-999-2830 or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SOSDJPro.
Forest Moon Paranormal is a non-for-profit emergency response team that handles all aspects of the paranormal, helping you, your family, friends, and community since 2004. Whether you're having a problem with hauntings, spirits, Bigfoot, other types of cryptids, or UFO activity. Maybe you're just unsure of what's bothering or terrifying you. Or maybe you're just afraid of criticism and disbelief. FMP is here for you. We handle cases globally and locally from our headquarters in Skagit County, Washington. We never accept any form of payment for our services and are 100% confidential. You can find us on Facebook under Forest Moon Paranormal. You can private message us for assistance, or just come join in the discussion and become part of our growing FMP community.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help spaced out radio listeners today.
Join us on September 28th at the Cedro Woolley Community Center for 2019 Forest Moon Paranormal Paracon. VIP All Access passes on sale now at fmparacon.com. Your pass includes all-day admission to see the speakers and workshops, the Ghost Walk, a special VIP workshop, a special round table with the speakers, a Paracon t-shirt, and an FMP Paracon swag bag. These tickets can be purchased from fmparacon.com. Get yours today.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4 Paranormal Radio, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. Looking for a way to get the word out there about your business, group, team, or product? Let us help you. A few clicks is all it takes to get started at s-4radio.com, or you can contact me at 360-999-2830.
Welcome back to S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's always fun. Tonight's a Midsummer and Faerie. You can also find the archives at our Spreaker site and on the S4 YouTube channel for all the shows you've missed in the last 3 years. Anyway, back to the show. So if you want to call in and have a question, go ahead and give me your number, Brent. We don't have the technology to bring you onto the show, but you can call Brent's phone, ask your question, and we can, because I know not everybody's in the chat room. I see that in the numbers we have. We have a few people that come into the chat, and the rest just listen, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. Not everyone likes chat rooms. But you can call Brent's number and ask your question, and Brent can ask the question on the air. So what's your number, Brent?
It is. It's 360-610-2509.
Excellent.
And 360-610-2509.
So during the break we were talking, and so Morrigan is the Celtic goddess of war, death, and rebirth. She is very common with pagans that are in the military, and pagans oftentimes, if there's pagan law enforcement, she's the deity that a lot of them work with. And so I'm going to have Dawn talk about her for a little bit, because Dawn's studying her. But she's also, in a lot of mythology, known as the Queen of the Faerie. Now, when we went to Balad, so I was with Dawn in Talofa in 05-06. I ran a group in Balad in 04-05. And we had, between 30 and 100 troops that met every night throughout the year. We did healings as necessary. We had Sabbath celebrations, things of that nature. Now, Morrigan being my primary deity, I had an altar set up. And as we were getting ready to leave, I packed her altar up. I put it, back in the box. I put it back in the container. I'm getting ready to come back stateside. And picture about a 20-foot door. 20 foot tall by about, 10 foot wide. It's a maintenance bay. And picture about 110 degrees outside and no wind. And I sat down at this table with one of the other NCOs, and he's Christian. But he's one of the open-minded Christians. He knows what religion I am or what belief I am, and he doesn't care. But he likes being open-minded. He likes discussing. And as we're sitting there talking, I had just packed up the altar, and out of the blue, this door slammed shut. And his eyes got wide as saucers. He's like, Coop, there's no wind. I'm like, nope. Do you have an explanation for that? I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I just packed up Morrigan's altar. So, without sounding funny, Morrigan has left the building. He's like, dude, that was weird. I'm like, well, yeah, it's welcome to my world. And so we're sitting there, we're talking. And so we've been in this building for a year. And out of the blue, we both hear this ominous drip. And he looks at me and his eyes got wide as saucers again. And he's, Coop, the building is leaking. It's never leaked before. I'm like, nope. He goes, is that because Morrigan left the building? And like, pretty much. Well, we got out of the building and said, yeah, good luck to the next meet. But what have you learned, Don?
I've just learned mainly that I connect with her probably a lot more than I've connected with anything else in this whole pagan world. The washer at the ford really spoke to me when she's washing the armor of the dead soldier that was meeting her at, that felt comforting, especially when I was in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And so when before I even knew she was my patron goddess, it was shown to me without knowing, like I was saying on the break about the ravens that would follow me on missions and not be around them when I wasn't on those missions and such like that. Little subtle things that she shows that she's in my life, kind of thing.
So for listeners,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense to me. But for listeners that aren't familiar with to what we're talking about at all, yeah. So the colors of Morrigan, because every deity's got their specific colors. Hers are black and red. Her favorite stone is bloodstone, and I believe moonstone as well. So her symbols are the raven, the red cow, and the dog. She's known as what many would call a triple goddess because she's got triple aspects to her. And yeah, I'm trying to place. It's Bodba, Matcha, and what's the third one, Don?
Oh, the third one. I got my trusty handy dandy book in front of me. So we got Bab.
It's Badba.
Anu.
Yeah, there you go. Bab, Matcha, and Anu are the triple aspects of her, and what many would call the maiden, mother, and crone. So one is the young woman, one is the mother aspect, and one is the elderly woman that you listen. You always listen to your elders, and so Anu is I believe Anu is the crone aspect. So, anyway, she is known as the Queen of the Fae, and she's in Irish culture. And like I said, many military connect with her. She's known to come across a battlefield, and if you're her chosen, then she takes. If you die in combat, she takes you to essentially what many would call heaven, but our version of heaven. Wouldn't be Valhalla. I don't recognize Valhalla per se, but basically the warrior's paradise. So the next fae we've got is the Hamadryad. These are wood nymphs. Each tree has its own wood nymph who dies when the tree dies. Now the typical dryad is not. A typical dryad moves with the tree. Hobgoblins. So who's heard of the hobgoblin?
Oh,
yeah. Spider-Man hates him.
I've heard of them, but probably what I know is not correct because I've mainly heard of them in video games.
Okay. What have you heard about in video games?
That they are a evolution of goblins when they either become strong enough, quote unquote, magically or physically, depending on how they train, and also depending on how they train depends on if they become a shaman within their tribe or a warrior.
Okay, those are video games. So the hobgoblin, originally a general name for a small, grotesque but friendly brownie-type creature. And you'll find a lot of similarity and a lot of crossing of a lot of these Fae types just because of cultures. And I just lost everybody. It looks like Skype just crashed on me. Should let me pull Skype back up. And my Skype probably just crashed, so I just got to jump back into the call real quick. And we'll next we'll get to the Jinn. Now, I don't agree with Jinn per se. Let's see here. I'm going to call everybody back. Hold on a sec here. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
I see. Okay, everybody's back. Yeah, my Skype closed down on me. Welcome to my world. It always happens every show. Well, not quite, but yeah. So, the Jinn. I don't agree with the Jinn being part of the Fae. Because to me, the Jinn have always been seen basically as the Islamic version of a demon. And is everybody still here?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm here.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, just doing a double check here because I actually watched my Skype close. I was like, oh, really? And I kind of figured it probably just closed on my end and everybody was still there. So the Jinn, according to this research paper, are fairies in the Arabian mythology. I don't recognize them as part of the Fae, but I will add them because, well, somebody does. And that's fine. That's completely fine. So, according to this, they're fairies in the Arabian mythology, the offspring of fire. I don't see them as Fae, like I said, but they reproduce like human beings and are led by a race of kings named Suleiman, one of whom they say built the pyramids. Again, I don't believe that either. Their chief...
Aren't the Jinn supposed to be like the genies in the lamps?
Yeah, but essentially they're tricksters, but they're very cruel and mean tricksters. So the movie Wishmaster, I would say, is a very good depiction of Jinn, but not near harsh enough, if that makes sense. Have you guys seen Wishmaster?
No.
No. No, you gotta watch Wishmaster. It's a good horror flick. Make sure the kid's in around. But there's like Wishmaster 1, 2, and 3. So in one guy, he wishes he was skinny, and basically the Wishmaster makes him so skinny he dies. So it's real
so
drastic.
basically grants his wish, but
extreme.
Yeah.
Extreme and cruel. And yeah. So that to me is Jinn, but Jinn are a lot worse. Basically, and I've said this before, to me the Jinn they basically make demons look like kindergartners.
So basically, if a person wished for like a dog, the dog would tear their throat out.
Basically, yeah. So the evil jinn are hideously ugly, but the good are exquisitely beautiful. And again, I wouldn't. I have my own beliefs about the pyramids. I believe the aliens were involved with them. I don't believe the jinn or any kings were involved with them. And we've talked about the pyramids on S4 before. So with that, I would disagree. The good are exquisitely beautiful. According to legend, they were created from fire 2,000 years before Adam and Eve, before Adam was made of earth. So next we have the Kelpie. In Scotland, the Kelpie is an imaginary spirit of the water in the form of a horse. Who was asking about? Was Kayla asking about?
It was Kayla that was asking about the Kelpie.
Okay, I thought so. So the kobold, according to German folklore, and I love German folklore. Because I spent 8 years in Germany. The Germans are very paranormal aware. You talk, you walk in America and talk about ghosts and aliens, you get laughed at really quick. You go to Germany and talk about ghosts and aliens, you got their attention and they want to hear your story. That's just that's Germany. That's German culture. So in Germany, you got the kobold. Now the kobolds are spirits. They dwell in mines. They like to torment humans. They're tricksters, but not inherently evil, though some believe them to be the most dangerous and most ugly of all the fairy-like beings. Some sources suggest that kobolds are related to the brownies. I think, if I remember right, the kobolds... Okay, you ever heard of the Tommyknockers? I'll take that as a no.
I'm trying to... Well... is it the same as the book from Stephen King?
Yeah, but I think the Tommyknockers were alien, were they not?
Yeah.
So here we go, the Knockers, otherwise known as the Buckas. These are mine spirits who are friendly to miners. They knock where rich ore can be found.
I need one of those.
Sounds like a pretty helpful Fae.
We do. We need one of those. We might have them here. Next, we have the Laminac. These are Basque fairies, related to the Celtic Little People. The Laminac live underground in beautiful castles. And that's probably where the Hollow Earth theory came from. Good God, y'all are too quiet. No questions yet?
Just listening and enjoying your info.
Is Chris asleep?
No, I most certainly am not. I'm listening.
Okay. You're usually the first one to jump up with a question.
Right. Well, okay. Keep talking and I will.
Okay. So now we have the Lauma. Originally a beautiful long-haired female fairy from Lithuania. And so I love culture. And that's probably one reason, Homeland Security irritates me, because in Homeland Security, they all look at all the other cultures have all the terrorists. Well, no, you have just as many terrorists in our own country. But having traveled the military, I love cultures. We went and had Thai food last night. And I've never been to Thailand, but in 3rd Army, Trip, you're wrong. So Trippin' saying Chris is still looking for the naked guy from last week.
Right on, Trip. I'm still thinking about him. Yes, I am.
Uh-huh. And Trip's taking notes. Right on, Trip. Always love hearing Trip taking notes. So, the Lauma, originally a beautiful long-haired female fairy from Lithuania, dwelling in the forest near water or stones. By the 18th century, the name came to denote a witch or hag, capable of changing into a frog or toad. In modern Latvian, Lauma is a hag, and a Laumanet means to practice witchcraft. And that would be Latvia. Latvia is a pagan country. So now, what do you think we have next? Something everyone's familiar with every St. Patrick's Day. The leprechaun. Come on. You guys couldn't figure that out?
I just said that.
It was muted, but Chris said it.
And you know what's funny?
Stay away from me. Keep your arms.
What? It's funny because you see it so much in our kids' culture. I mean, you know, here in the concrete school, for the last 2 years, they've been all big about making the leprechaun trap. Did Kimberly make a leprechaun trap, Cole?
Yes, she did.
Did she catch one?
Sure.
Sure.
We put money in there.
They're magically delicious. But, yeah, not leprechauns. No, never mind. Lucky Charms. All right, so leprechauns. In Irish folklore, they appear as tiny old men. Just look at a Lucky Charms box. You can see a good picture of one. Solitary in nature, wearing a cocked hat and leather apron. They are said to possess a hidden pot of gold, and if captured, may reveal its hiding place. But they are sly and tricky, and if you glance away, they can disappear in the blink of an eye. The name seems to be derived from the old Irish Lucorpin, or little body. And Joe says, leprechauns make me fight. Well, stop drinking the ale. That's what it is. That's what it is. So next we have the Lorelei. In German legend, a fairy similar to the Greek sirens, who lived on the high rock on the bank of the Rhine, and by her singing, lure the sailors to their death. And, you know, something to think about. It makes you wonder if that's where the lighthouse came from. Because if they didn't have a lighthouse...
Keep a lookout for the sirens?
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you have sirens that are pulling the ships onto the rocks, you got to have lighthouses to warn them. Makes sense to me. Now you have the Los Aluxes. These fairies live in the temples of the ancient peoples of Mexico. Here we go, a Mexican fairy. They resemble gnomes. So Aluxes mean little people. Now, I'm probably saying that wrong. So now you have the Lunantishi, or Lunantishes. These are a tribe of fairies who guard blackthorn bushes, one of the fairy trees. They will not allow that a blackthorn stick is cut on May 11th, or originally May Day, or November 11th, originally All Hallows Eve. Should anyone manage to cut a stick, some misfortune will surely befall him or her. I like that one, actually. That one's kind of cool. And
Chris asked a question in the chat, and that is, are sirens the same as mermaids?
No, they are not. Very similar, and we'll probably get to mermaids. Actually, yes. Next is mer people, or mermaids. They dwell in the water, but they are human from the waist up and have a tail of a fish. They are irresistible singers who sometimes lure fishermen to their deaths, also called the Murduwaka, or Murucha, or Meros. So no, they're not the same. Similar in the sense that they both kill, but I think that's about the only similarity. Appearance is different. Next we have the Naiad, and these are simply water nymphs. No other information on them. Now we have the Nis, or the Nisi, a kobold or brownie, a Scandinavian fairy, friendly to farmhouses. So, where the brownie and the kobold were Scottish and Irish, the Nis or the Nisi are the same creature, but Scandinavian. Yeah, Scandinavian. And now we have Shrek. What was Shrek? Anyone?
Ogre.
Did you just say Shrek?
Yep. The ogre.
That's an ogre.
An inhabitant of fairyland said to feed on infant children. And that's all they say. Now we have Orins, and these are simply mountain nymphs. And now we have pixies. These fairies often take the form of hedgehogs. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I saw hedgehogs all the time in Germany. Hey, is Nathan still with us in the chat room?
I think he is. I didn't see him leave.
Nathan.
Shrek's like an... And Joe says, Shrek is like an onion. He has layers. So pixies, these fairies often take the form of hedgehogs. They're mischievous creatures who enjoy playing practical jokes on humans and other fae folk. So, you know, you don't see that too often where the fae actually prank or attack other fae types. This one does. The pixies do. They adore music and dancing, and they love to steal horses to ride. So, Joe, you need to watch your horses. Make sure the pixies don't take them. But I don't think you have to...
Every depiction of pixies in, like, movies or anything like that, they're always portrayed as very much tricksters. And
Right.
it didn't matter to who.
Exactly. I don't think Joe has to worry, though, because he's got Bigfoot watching his horses. Wasn't it your horses that got braided, Joe? I can't remember. Next, we have the Peri, which is a Persian fairy. Evil Peris are called Deeves.
Are called what?
Deeves. D-E-E-V-S. And now we have the Parrot, or Parrot, in Albanian folklore. They are female mountain deities of great beauty. They are dressed entirely in white and are regarded as good fairies, though they can become very angry towards those who spill bread. Really? And will give those who do a hump. Huh. Okay. That's weird. I wonder what a hump is. Or do they mean a thump?
Tell you when you're older.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. My mind's slow tonight. That makes sense. Don't spill your bread. Yeah, or you'll get a hump. Next.
Dang, Eric, you must be sicker than we thought.
Oh, I am. You know, and it's not just that I'm sick, but I was working on my 5-page paper today, too. It took all day. Could 9/11 have been prevented? And, well, that took all day to kind of figure how to word all that. We actually talked about that on S4, too, but I can't go into that in a paper.
Yeah. You couldn't just sit there and put on there, well, go to this episode of S4.
No. They don't even know I run S4. Anyway, so Puka. These are Irish goblins. They're usually friendly, but are known to play pranks. And awesome. So Trippin just found S4 on his podcast player. And that's good. That's good to know, because we are slowly getting S4, like Cole said earlier, expanded onto every app and every radio app that we can find. So it's slow. Some of them have to be approved. And I think there's only 3 that were lacking, right?
Yeah.
It's a matter of figuring out what the name is, whether it's under Eric Cooper or S-4 or S4 without a dash, or all of them. Let's see.
Most of them are S-4, but at the same time, Eric Cooper will work for all of them because you are the host.
Okay, I got you. Next is Portunes. These are tiny medieval fairies described by Gervaschi of Tilbury as being the size of a finger. Oh, wow. And Joe found S4 on a map of the Nevada desert. I did too. Imagine that. And, okay, changing the subject for a second because this is actually pertinent. Bob Lazar has a new movie coming out. Who knows who Bob Lazar is? Come on, guys. You don't know who Bob Lazar is?
I recognize the name. You probably mentioned it to me at some point. Can't think of from where, though.
Bob Lazar is the one who was working at Area 51 back in the 90s. And that is the one who came out and talked about Element 115 and back-engineered UFOs. And once he started talking, this is back in the 90s, Barry, they discredited him. They, took all the information away from him. So basically he looked like a fool. Like he was just making things up. He didn't really work at Area 51, blah, blah, blah. And now he's coming back out, like this year. He's been on several shows. His credit is back. He's the one that has been on many shows, and they actually talk about, do you really believe Bob Lazar worked at Area 51? Yeah, I do, because he was talking about Element 115 before scientists even said, oh my God, look, there's an Element 115. We can add that to our, periodic table of the elements now. He was talking about that a long time ago. So, Tripp is saying, in other words, TTSA has just been an infomercial for Lazar's movie. I don't even pay attention to TTSA, Tripp. I don't like them. I think they're patsies, basically. I look at Bob Lazar. That's who I go by. Back in the 90s when I was first in the UFO field, I was watching his work. I heard about him. I went off that. I'll do the same thing now. So, the Portunes. These are medieval fairies described by Gervassi of Tilbury as being the size of a finger. They are very old men with wrinkled faces who work on human farms. Though generally friendly and helpful, at night they cannot resist grabbing the bridle of a horse and leading the horse and its rider into ponds. Watch your horses, Joe. What is it with fae and horses? Can anyone figure that one out? It seems like they.
Been wondering that myself.
It seems like they don't like them, or they just like to steal them. I haven't never found that connection.
Go ahead and put that in the notes for something to research.
Yep, exactly. So, Tripp, who do you hate? Do you hate TTSA or Bob Lazar? I gotta ask. So next we have Puck, or otherwise known as Robin Goodfellow. Has anyone heard of this one?
Not I. Yes.
I'll take that as a no. Is a character from Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream. With his flute, made from a willow twig, he accompanies fairies on their moonlight dances. He is closely related to the Irish puka. Okay. And Joe says they're just jealous of the long flowing manes. Yeah, I'd agree. So apparently Podcast Republic goes all the way back to our November 5th Mediumship and the Paranormal Show. And that's fine, Trip. It gets our listeners that are new to the show at least back to 2017, and then they can catch, hopefully on the YouTube channel, where I need to actually update all the archives anyway. And yeah, I'm right there with you, Trip. I don't care for TTSA. I thought they were kind of, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. I just, you take a guy that's a rock singer from Blink-182, who all of a sudden knows everything there is to know about UFOs, and pulls all these government agencies that never talked to anybody else. And all of a sudden they're talking to the lead singer from Blink-182. You know, and they're asking for money. Really?
It would definitely make me sit there, stop, and go, wait, what? Something's going on here.
Yeah, that was TTSA, or to the Stars Academy. And yeah, no. I never trusted them. I never will. FMP does our own thing. We take our own UFO reports, our own Bigfoot reports, and handle our own cases. I will not go to TTSA for anything. Anyway, Red Cap. So, the Red Cap are believed to be the most evil of the old border goblins, living in old ruined towers and castles, particularly those with a history of wickedness. They say he re-dyes his cap in human blood. Oh, no. We need to handle that one, FMP.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Rod. In Slavic mythology, the Rod are the spirits of deceased female ancestors. They are considered to be goddesses of fate and fairies. As three women, they appear at the cradle of a newborn child and decide the child's fate. Now we have the Sealy Court. So I mentioned the Sealy and the Unsealy earlier. So these guys are actually on my list. So the Sealy Court are the court of the kind and benign fairy host, usually seen around twilight in long, solemn processions. These are the trooping fairies. These fairies help the poor with gifts of corn and bread. The opposite of the Sealy Court, or the Blessed Court, is the evil. Unsealy Court. And we will get to the Unsealy Court, I'm sure, here shortly. Next we have the Selkies. The Selkies are water fairies usually found in seas and oceans. They first appeared as seals, but become beautiful women when they shed their skin. And I've always been fascinated with all the different water fae. You know, you've got the mermaids, the sirens, the Selkies. All have very similar stories. All have very different appearances. Is it a cultural difference? Or are they actual races that, you know, appear different? It just makes you wonder.
Or in the end, it's possible that they started out all as the same, I guess you'd say, grouping.
Right.
And slowly over time just branched off into their own subgroupings.
Well, no, what I wonder, though, is if there's only one Fae race and it's just a different perception by different culture, like the Irish, the Scottish, the Lithuanian, you know.
Yeah.
Their own stories. So now we have the Chefro. The Chefro are male fairies who wear green coats and red caps. Huh. You see the similarity between them and what was the other one? With green coats and red caps. So now you have the She. The She, meaning people of the fairy hills. It is the Gaelic name for fairies in both Ireland and the Scottish Highlands. These fairies are described as being aristocrats, beautiful, of great size, great age, and great power. Usually these fairies are attracted to those who are beautiful as well as wealthy. Now you have the Slaw. This is the name of the Unsealy Court, or the evil fairies in the folklore of Scotland. The name means the host, a euphemism used to avoid invoking them by name, and hopefully preventing them from inflicting harm. They are believed to be the fallen angels that roam the midnight skies of the earth, searching for lost souls. So has anyone ever heard anyone say that the Fae are actually demons?
Yeah. No.
because some religions think that anything that's not of God is of the devil. So if it's a spirit, if it's a fae, if it's an alien, even Bigfoot, they've all got to be demons. So it doesn't surprise me none. It does surprise me how some of the fae cultures, however, are depicted as, like in this one, fallen angels. That's a reversal from what you hear. That's coming from the cultures. So now we have Spriggans. These are fabled to be ugly, grotesque, and small in their natural state, but can inflate themselves to gigantic proportions. Spriggans are an infamous band of villains, skilled thieves, thoroughly destructive, and often dangerous. They are capable of robbing human houses, kidnapping children, and leaving a repulsive baby Spriggan in exchange. So that's where the changeling comes from. And Trippin found, that's where Trippin went. I thought Trippin kind of disappeared there for a second. He's been looking on the apps. So you can find our podcasts on iTunes. Next is a very common one, the sprites. Who's heard of sprites? Not the beverage.
I have.
Oh, you just killed my joke.
I know it. Yeah, not the beverage. Sprites, not Sprite. So sprites are spirit fairies. Their name coming from the Latin word spiritus. They are creatures of the element of water. They are found only in places that are serene and cool. Their job is to change the color of the leaves in autumn. They are the muses, artists, and poets of the fairy world. So who's seen the cartoon series Tinkerbell?
Oh, yeah. Nope.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So if you
I think anybody who has a daughter or niece under about 10 has probably seen it.
And I like Tinkerbell. Yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, you usually think of cartoons as just, fiction. It's not real. It's just for your kids' imagination. But if you pay attention to the different jobs of the different fairies that work with Tinkerbell, so you see them, I can't remember which episode because I watch them, but I don't pay attention to the specific shows. But you can actually see how they change the color of the leaves in autumn. And those will be the sprites.
Yeah.
Whereas Tinkerbell is a simple plant fairy. So next we have...
As they say in the show, she's a tinkerer.
Yeah, yeah. And, the more you study the Fae, which hopefully this particular episode is going to bring more people into studying the Fae. Because, again, they're really fascinating when you go into the cultures of them. So the sylphs are the spirit fairies of the air. The name comes from the Greek sylphi, meaning butterfly or moth. They are transparent and elusive, and always seem to be surrounded by a glow. They defend high mountain peaks where they dwell. So now we have, Sophia the First had a really good troll episode. I actually like that one. So trolls, these creatures have an aversion to daylight. They are frequently observed performing a curious lopsided dance called hinking. And it's kind of hard to say when you have a sinus infection. Hinking. Henking. So that's trolls. And the kids are still kind of scared of bridges. You gotta watch out for the trolls under the bridge if you're walking across it anyway.
Your kids aren't scared of them anymore.
What, trolls?
Yeah. They want to go see the one in Seattle.
Oh, do they? Okay, right on. Which bridge?
Fremont Street, right?
Oh, okay.
Kayla was telling them the story, Old Mother Hubbard. Oh, 3 Billy Goats, Gruff.
Yeah, there you go.
And they were all excited. They're going to go see the Fremont Street Troll.
Okay, so real quick, Trippin is saying, so S4 is under news and politics. And I believe, Cole, they don't have a paranormal section, do they?
No, they do not.
That's why it's under news and politics. Because there is no paranormal section for us.
Because we bring you the latest news.
Exactly. Look up. Oh, wow. It's a disc. All right. So, hey, Tim, you're late. Tim is in the chat room. Hi, Tim. Next, we have the Trows. So the Trows are similar to the Trolls and like them, but they have an aversion to daylight. I'm really not sure what the difference is. Probably
Neither am I.
Probably culture. So now we have the Tuatha De Danann, the tribe of Dana, and this is actually where Morgon comes in. They are the pre-Christian gods of Ireland, sometimes represented as heroes or fairies. And that's, yeah. Now we have the Tilth-Teg, the fair people.
Weren't the Tuatha De Danann supposed to be the origin druids?
You know, that's a good point. Some think she is, but she's very much on the Irish mythology, not the Druid. The Druids usually came from, I want to say, England, UK area. It's the Druids that created Stonehenge, for example. Whereas Morgon comes from Ireland. So the fair people are Welsh fairies. They live in lakes or streams or in hollows of the hills. The females are called Yamamu. Okay. The mothers. Actually, it's Yamamamu. Mamamau. The mothers. A title which
kind of sounds like you're trying to say "yo mama."
Yeah, I know. That's kind of how it's spelled. A title which links him to the pagan Celtic deities, the Maiders. Ooh, that's not good. The Maiders are also an alien race, but we won't go into that one. And I think what they're trying to actually say is the maternal side. So associated with them are the usual traditions of moonlight dance, the supernatural passage of time, the stealing of children, and the substitution of changelings. They are especially interested in children with golden hair. Their favorites they enrich with precious gifts, which disappear when these gifts are spoken of. And now we have undines. These are water fairies, usually found in forest pools and waterfalls. Oh, I love waterfalls in the mountains.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Aren't they?
Yes.
Especially that one in South Skagit.
Oh, yeah.
They have beautiful
I keep
voices.
saying I'm going to stop and take a picture of that one.
Yeah, that's a bad place to stop, though.
I know. That's the whole reason I haven't, though.
Oh. They have beautiful voices and can sometimes be heard singing over the sound of the water. And you know what? That'll be an FMP expedition. When we go up into the mountains to do our camp out, we'll go find a waterfall and see if we can record Faye. Sound
okay,
cool?
That could be an interesting trek.
And now we have the Unseelie Court. This is the evil counterpart to the Seelie Court. Those that fly through the sky at night are called the Horde. Mortals, unfortunate enough to cross the Horde's path, are taken, beaten, pinched, and forced to participate in their bizarre nocturnal activities. Oh, God, I want to know what that is.
Sorry, I gotta do this for the Horde.
Uh-huh. The unseelie court, or unholy court, solely consists of those fairy-like beings which are the most ugly and evil. So now we have the Urisk, which is a solitary fairy who haunts lonely pools. He will often seek out human company, but his peculiar appearance terrifies those he approaches. And you know, when you're looking at this, and there's a lot of alien races. You know, I'm not saying aliens or fae or vice versa. But you will find some of the most hideous alien races are the most friendly. I remember, you know, Keith talking about some of the races that people think are gotta be awful, but no, they're just ugly. Not evil, though. So now we have the Urisk. Solitary fairy who haunts lonely pools. And again, I think we'll have to go look for one. Sound fun?
Do you think would actually get something on? Can we contact them through a spirit box?
Well, that's something we need to try. But we need to find a lonely pool. And I actually have a lonely pool.
Honestly, though, in the end, I think we'd need to give it an offering before it would even think about talking to us.
Well, again, I know most of the Fae like shiny. It really doesn't matter which race, per se. Most of them like your milk, like your honey, things of that nature. Not all, don't get me wrong. I'm not lumping them all into one category when it comes to that, but most of them will, when it comes to offerings, take shiny. You know, we give Bigfoot marbles. I think marbles would work for some of the Fae as well. But I think what we need to do is go to some of these waterfalls with pools, set up some cameras. You're not going to necessarily, you know, picking up a Fae isn't going to be the same as picking up a spirit. I think you're going to find Fae will appear as orbs. But in these particular cases, you're not going to find dust orbs in the middle of the mountains, per se, by a waterfall with a mountain pool. You might find orbs in the form of insects. That would be the only, you know, when you're looking at orbs in that setting, you're not going to, you can rule out dust, you can rule out most of your mundane things. Insects would be the only thing. I think you pick up an orb in that setting, you'd be more, if you zoomed in on it, you'd be more accurate to see Fae, maybe alien, maybe even spirit.
And honestly, if you had like 2 or 3 cameras set up, pointing at the same place from different angles, you could probably tell if it was an insect or not.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So Kayla says, have you seen the George Lucas film, Strange Magic? It's an interesting take on the Fae. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, I have to look on Netflix.
I don't think I've seen it either.
Is it on Netflix?
No, you're going to have to look at like YouTube.
Oh, okay. Right on. I'll have to look it up.
It wasn't one of those more popular ones.
Okay.
But it is good.
Right on. So next we have Will-o'-the-Wisp, a spirit of the bogs whose delight is to mislead belated travelers. And there we have tricking travelers again. Now we have a Japanese fairy, the Yoshi. They are the most often seen as birds, cranes, or swans. known as the Yumbos. Interesting names. These are fairies of African mythology. They stand about 2 feet high. They're white in color. Their favorite haunt is the range of hills called the Paps. Makes you want to go there, doesn't it?
Not really.
Maybe just a little.
I don't want to go to Africa. That's just, I've been there, done that, not doing it again. Xanus, the nymphs or fairies of Osterius. Derived from Celtic mythology, they live near streams and spend their days singing beautiful tunes and combing their wonderful hair. I think of Dave. Oh, okay, so folks, we're at the top of the second hour. So when we come back, we will go to another set for the last hour of different fae that I've got. Some of them are the same. Very few. There's a very few crossover in the research I did here. But you're going to have different information on some of the same ones. And Rick Clancy Jr., how you doing tonight? So you came right in time for break, so stay tuned, and when we come back, tonight we're talking fairies. Because some think it's Midsummer, and it's actually when the fae come through the most often. Right now, Yule sometimes, and Halloween. So when we come back, we will carry on. No.
Ladies and
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We've had several days of 80-degree plus weather here in Concrete, Washington. My family's favorite way to keep cool in this heat is to stop by Java Zone 2 and grab a delicious iced latte for me and a blended mocha for my husband. Our son just loves their creamy milkshakes, and our daughter can't get enough of their ice cream. The best part is, Java Zone 2 is conveniently located just off Highway 20 beside Loggers Landing. And I'm proud to shop local for a business that has been a staple of the Concrete and Upriver community since it opened its doors in 2010. So if you're looking for a way to keep cool in this summer heat, come check out Java Zone 2. They're fast, friendly, and local.
Hello, my name's Cole Wegleitner with Statement of Sound DJ Productions. We do mixing, monitoring, recording, and editing for all your audio needs. For our local listeners in the Skagit area, we are taking bookings for your 2019 events and parties. We have a wide array of music from any genre. Please allow us to help you make these memories last forever. Contact us at 360-999-2830 or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SOSDJPro.
Forest Moon Paranormal is a non-for-profit emergency response team that handles all aspects of the paranormal, helping you, your family, friends, and community since 2004. Whether you're having a problem with hauntings, spirits, Bigfoot, other types of cryptids, or UFO activity. Maybe you're just unsure of what's bothering or terrifying you. Or maybe you're just afraid of criticism and disbelief. FMP is here for you. We handle cases globally and locally from our headquarters in Skagit County, Washington. We never accept any form of payment for our services, and are 100% confidential. You can find us on Facebook under Forest Moon Paranormal. You can private message us for assistance, or just come join in the discussion and become part of our growing FMP community.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Join us on September 28th at the Cedro Woolley Community Center for 2019 Forest Moon Paranormal Paracon. VIP All Access passes on sale now at fmparacon.com. Your pass includes all-day admission to see the speakers and workshops, the Ghost Walk, a special VIP workshop, a special round table with the speakers, a Paracon t-shirt, and an FMP Paracon swag bag. These tickets can be purchased from fmparacon.com. Get yours today.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4 Paranormal Radio, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. Looking for a way to get the word out there about your business, group, team, or product? Let us help you. A few clicks is all it takes to get started at s-4radio.com, or you can contact me at 360-999-2830.
Welcome back to S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
Welcome back to S4 tonight's Midsummer and Fae. You can also find the archives at our Spreaker site and on the S4 YouTube channel for all the shows you missed in the last 3 years. Anyway, back to the show. So here we are. And Rick says he was born on Faerie Day, and I've never known, is it every June 23rd? So, there's different Faerie days. I mean, it depends on, so International Faerie Day, I think they say is June 24th. Some sites, they'll say it's June 29th. You have to look, there's different Faerie days for different months. I know when we were in Iraq, and, do you remember, Dawn? Are you with us, Don? Did Don ever come back?
We haven't heard from him, but he's still on the call.
Okay. Because if I remember right, so there's a fairy and goddess artist named Jessica Galbraith. And she actually came out and decided that Faerie Day was going to be the 22nd. 22nd or 23rd. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. And that's kind of the date that we've gone off, just within FMP. And we did a fairy show or a fae show, I think it was 2 years ago, back the first year that we were running the show. And it's been a while. So it was kind of fitting that Midsummer we would do a fae show. And just, again, go over all the different fae types. So I'm going to go back to sirens. Sirens are kind of cool. So in mythology, they're depicted as part woman and part bird. Their hauntingly beautiful song lures sailors to their doom. In life, they are amazingly beautiful people, male and female, with icy cold, pale skin and voices that reach straight into the soul and call to you on a very deep level. So, the basilisk, half snake and half rooster, so poisonous that its very glare or breath paralyzes. Its fangs contain a venom that burn and eat away at a victim from the inside out. The basilisk is shown as a monstrous serpent crowned with a dramatic frill or crest. So yeah, so we went over the nicer fae. Now we're going to go over, some nice and, some not so nice. The cockatree is depicted as a rooster with a dragon's tail and bat-like wings. Its enemy is the mongoose or the weasel. The centaur. So the centaur is many see as part of the Fae realm. Who knows what a centaur is?
Isn't it a half man, half horse?
It is.
Yep.
So if you saw, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia series, you saw centaurs. I think centaurs have been... No, didn't Harry Potter have centaurs too?
Yes, he did.
Percy Jackson.
And they were cool. I like centaurs. So
Yes.
Centaurs half man, half horse. Most were savage and lustful, frequently carrying off human women. Hey now. But the centaur Chiron was a wise teacher that tutored many Greek heroes. Cerberus, guardian of the Greek underworld, a great three-headed dog with a tail of a dragon. I believe Cerberus was actually in Harry Potter too, wasn't he?
That's also Percy
There was
Jackson.
a three-headed dog, but I don't think it was supposed to
Yeah.
be Cerberus.
Yeah, no, he was just a pet.
Yeah.
He was a cute puppy.
Honestly, I'd love to have a Cerberus as a pet.
That would be cool. So the chimera, a composite monster with the body of a goat, the head of a lion, and the tail of a dragon. They're making fun of my dragons, damn it. Dragon. I'm not a giant anyway. A giant reptile, often possessing bat-like wings and fiery breath. Eastern dragons are benevolent and wise creatures of clouds, rain, and bodies of water. Western dragons are more likely to be crafty and evil. What? Also, a race of magical humanoid beings with dragon spirit powers. So we could actually do an entire show. That's right. Kayla said Fluffy. That was the three-headed dragon in Harry Potter. Fluffy. I forgot about that. So, if you're really into dragons, I always recommend DJ Conway. And she did the Dragon Magic series. Excellent book series. Now we have the Griffin, which is depicted with the hind body and tail of a lion, and the head, wings, and foreclaws of an eagle. I like griffins too, actually. Harpies. Foul and hideous creatures with gnarled faces and the upper torso of old hags, and the wings, bodies, and talons of vultures. Oh, Trippin says Lockheed Martin has a podcast called Inside Skunk Works. Yeah, they're going to be real accurate, aren't they, Trip? They're going to tell you everything they do. Uh-huh.
I'd say, honestly, the video game God of War describes harpies pretty well.
Does it? Right on.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, a lamia, or lamia, is a scale-covered quadruped in Libya, looks like, with a woman's head and breasts. She has hooves, a horse's tail, and cat-like forelegs. Now, I would have nightmares over something like that, I think. That's just too weird.
That honestly sounds quite messed up.
Uh-huh. What kind of
I
genetic...
don't even see how something like that could survive.
What kind of genetic manipulation happened there?
Sorry.
You do that, Cole?
Oh, man.
Oh, next we have the manticora, a red, lion-like creature of India, with the head of a man, the mane of a lion, the tail of a scorpion, 3 rows of inner teeth, and a beautiful musical voice like a trumpet or flute.
Dang, that was some serious genetic mutation.
Right?
I don't know if that would be a failed experiment or a success.
Well, it's kind of cool. It's lion-like. And Kayla says,
yeah,
sounds like an Egyptian god, and that could be actually. Now we have the Minotaur, which is a ferocious beast with the body of a powerful man and the head of a carnivorous bull. That actually is part of Egyptian mythology.
Monster of the maze.
Yep. Now we have Naga, or the Nagini, serpent people of India. They look human from the waist up, but are giant snakes from the waist down. And I've actually seen them depicted as well. India and the Hindis have some very interesting culture. The Sphinx,
also got some pretty cool creatures.
Say again?
They also have some pretty cool creatures.
They do. They have Ganesh, the elephant god. The Sphinx. She has a lion's body and paws, and the bead breasts and arms of a beautiful woman. The Greek Sphinx also had wings, but the Egyptian version was wingless. She is famous for posing the following riddle to travelers. What goes on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? If they answered correctly, they could pass. If they remained silent, they could turn and go back the way they came. But if they answered incorrectly, she would devour them. I think I would just go back the way I came without even trying.
Oh, yeah. Because at least then you could come back later and maybe try again.
No.
Once you think you have the answer.
I wouldn't even try to guess. You think you know what it is, Cole?
Yeah.
What?
It's a human.
Okay.
In their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think, a day is inconsequential. A lifetime can be considered a day.
Right.
The sun rises with a life, the sun sets with a life.
Okay.
Okay. So we start out on 4 legs. We crawl. Then we walk. And then what was the last part?
Leaves on 3 legs.
I can't remember what that was. Because I've heard that before, and that was the answer.
Oh, okay. Well, then you would pass.
Oh, you have a cane when you're old.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, too.
That's what Chris said, yep.
So next, again, we have the brownie, which are household goblins. I like brownies. Brownies are cool. Until you disrespect them, and, well, then you're kind of screwed. They live mainly in farmhouses and country dwellings, perform labors while people are sleeping, protective, and attach themselves to a particular person. So,
if anybody was wondering what the actual answer is to that riddle, it's a baby crawls on all 4s, then walks on 2 legs as an adult, and uses 2 legs and a cane when they're old.
Yeah. So next we have Baba Yaga. Who's heard of Baba Yaga?
If I remember right, wasn't that the old woman in the candy house that supposedly lured Hansel and Gretel?
You're really close. So Baba Yaga was a cannibalistic witch who lives in a hut on the edge of forests, regarded as the devil's own grandmother.
What do you mean? My grandma doesn't live on the edge of the forest.
Mine did, but we won't go there. So the Banshee. The Banshee are the fairy who tells of death by wailing, also called the Banshee. If you catch her, she must tell you the name of who will die. I'm sorry, I don't think FMP wanted to catch the Banshee that we dealt with. I don't think we could catch the Banshee that we dealt with. Could we, Brent? Is Brent
Well, there's a possibility. Oh, yeah. There's a possibility to catch her.
All right. So, yeah.
I think anyway.
It might have been fun to attempt it, but in the instance that we couldn't, just kill it.
Oh, no. You don't kill a Banshee. No, you let her go her merry way, because all they are is messengers. They aren't there to do any harm. They're here they're there to portray a message.
Yeah, I wouldn't do any killing them.
No.
I just capture maybe.
Take a picture. Yeah. But you can't take a picture from the astral. Unfortunately, we've got to figure that one out.
That would be good.
It would. That's something...
Just got to figure out how to make the camera go astral with you.
Well, that's something Markham's got to figure out for us. So again, we got dwarves live in caves, hostile towards man, associated with creating Thor's hammers. Oh, and that was actually portrayed in Avengers. I can't remember which one, but it was a dwarf that was making Thor's hammer. Metal workers and fighters.
Infinity War. Infinity War.
Okay. So yeah, I love how you can see lore portrayed in actual movies. It's cool when they do their homework. So they are very protective of territory. The elves, originally spirits of the dead who brought fertility, shaped as humans, either beautiful or ugly, light and dark, worshipped in trees, mountains, or waterfalls. The gnome, dwell in the earth, guard treasures, cannot stand sunlight, turn to stone to put in the sun, generally friendly, but they can be vengeful. The hobgoblin, impish, ugly, and mischievous spirit, enjoys playing pranks, and sometimes sent to kill someone. The Kelpie. So again, you will see a lot of similarity between the two different researches I did with different information, which is kind of cool because you get a better picture. So the Kelpie are treacherous water devil, lurks in lakes and rivers, known for drowning swimmers and boaters, sometimes take shape of drowning horse in order to kill someone. The leprechaun lives in farmhouses or wine cellars, makes shoes for elves and other creatures, dress in green, red hats, leather apron, and buckled shoes, rumored to protect gold, tricksters, and enjoy taking others' money. Very spiteful. The pixie live in flowers, trees, marshes around water, love to play pranks and steal horses and ponies to make nocturnal rides. If given bread and cheese, they will do little chores for you, but prefer to create mischief. The Selkie, marine creatures.
Want to interject real quick?
Yeah.
About the leprechauns?
Sure.
Don't ever try to steal their gold. Because unless they give it to you, it's cursed. And it'll just bring pure bad luck to you. Until you return it back to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to try anyway. But, some poor schmuck would.
Oh, yeah. Because it's gold, of course.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, I'll get a gold pen and go find my own. It's plenty up here.
Yeah.
So the Selkie, marine creatures in the shape of seals, create storms to avenge the killing of sea creatures. The Sylph, immortal yet soulless, being that inhabits the air, looks like flower seeds, sings to entrap human in a lure, known for going to extremes to protect their secrets. The Troll, malicious creatures, enemies of mankind and most of the magical world, Turn to stone if placed in the sun. Very fond of human flesh. Often caught coming into houses at night to kidnap small children and infants for a source of food. So, again, it depends on the culture you're looking at. Because, if you look at the cartoons, Sophia the First, of course, Cheyenne's used to be, not so much anymore, but was, you kind of get stuck watching your kids' cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a couple different troll episodes, and the trolls there, they did live in caves underground. They weren't allowed in the castle. But all they wanted to do was play the drums. That was it. And once they were allowed to play the drums, they were fine. The Undine. Here we go again with the Undine. Water spirits created without a soul but obtained a soul if she married and bore a human male, a child. These children are often considered changelings. The Fire Drake. Live in caves and protect great treasures. Breathes fire. Giant salamanders. Sounds to me like a dragon. Dragons aren't salamanders, but
what it sounds to me,
is
that it's a dragon.
Oh yeah. Dragons aren't salamanders, but they are known to live in caves and protect treasure and breathe fire. The Griffin.
Honestly, you call a dragon a salamander, it might piss them off.
Yeah, just a little bit. So the Griffin. Head, beak, wings of an eagle, body of a lion, tail of a serpent or scorpion belong to Zeus and used normally as protectors. And now we have the famous movie. Which one is it? Anyone? Are we still awake?
I'm still.
Gremlins. Mischievous spirits of tools and machinery. Enjoy misplacing items and causing trouble and breaking things. Yeah, it's about fitting.
Just remember not to feed them after midnight.
No, that's the good gremlins.
I do what I want.
Right? So, the imp. Small demon / genie kept in a bottle or ring. When released or awakened, the entity serves its master in a magical, alchemical, or healing purpose. But I wouldn't want to have one. Because they're tricksters. So, this particular research has incubus, succubus. I don't consider them fae, but we will indulge them for a minute. So, an incubus, succubus is a fallen angel / demon who visits women / men in their sleep and have sexual intercourse with them as they sleep. If a child is born from either sexual encounter, it will have magical gifts, but be entirely evil. Again, I haven't heard any accurate records of children being born of incubus, succubus. They are sex demons, essentially. But do they fall into the demonic class? I don't think so.
That might be something that somebody in the team has to research.
No, we've actually dealt with them before. They're not, and that's why I say they're not a demonic per se. They're a malevolent entity, yes, but they don't fall into the demonic class.
Oh, I meant if the child will have higher magical abilities, but they'll be evil.
Right.
Because I'm sure if it's true, there's one or two out there.
Oh, they're out there, but they aren't as common as people. They got too many movies out there that show them and whatnot. They're not that common. The Voltus, decaying and musky-smelling creature, muscular body similar to vampire and crypt angel, and incubus combined. No known origin. Ancient demonic figures that feed on the flesh of vampires, lichens, stars, nymphs, and gods, goddesses. Hard to kill and tend to travel in breeding packs. All right. So with that, we're down to the last 30 minutes of this show. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Chris, where's your questions at?
I'm right here just listening to all this. I was just, when you were talking about that incubus, I dealt with a woman with extended care, helping her with a case, and Brent was doing astral, and she had one of those very, very tightly attached to her. I remember that case. That's what I was thinking of.
Right. And so in the time that FMP's been working, I believe we've only had maybe 3 cases where it was an actual incubus-succubus situation.
Wow.
So with that, it makes them rare.
Yeah.
Based on the caseload. Yes, they do exist. Yes, they can attach themselves to specific individuals.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not as strong as demonic entities are.
Right. Right.
They're about the equivalent of any of the normal malevolent entity types that we deal with. So when it comes to removing them, they can be a pain to remove, but it doesn't take the same skill level to remove them as you would an actual demon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So where did Don go?
I don't know.
Or is he still gone?
Yeah. Did Don?
I think he fell asleep. So Kayla's got a question. Do you think that Bigfoot could be more of a fae than a cryptid? And that may explain his ability to go unseen. And I've thought about that before. I wouldn't classify him so much as fae. But as a guardian, yes. So it's kind of hard to classify him as far as being in the fae realm or not. I do see him as a guardian, though. That's what he does. And you're not going to see him unless he wants to be seen. So, and based on other evidence that we've dealt with, that kind of puts him in the interdimensional class, which is also potential for fae. So, is he fae? I don't think so. He's fae-like in that he's a guardian, yes. But I'm still kind of torn on that one. And Joe says he'll let you smell him. Yeah, and oh my God. Yeah. So, for those that don't know...
Don't you know the smell that you smell is just him walking by and farting?
Well, it could be, but you need to stop eating the mountain beans. So, so I got a message from someone yesterday or the day before that's here in Washington. And she was curious about Bigfoot. And I told her, yeah, we got Bigfoot all over up here. And what they smell like. So some people describe him as smelling like a wet dog, but very musky. I've heard other people describe the smell of more skunky, but musky. I've never actually fully smelled one. And it would be hard because I also got asked before, don't bears smell the same? I think Bigfoot smells stronger than a bear. I would like to smell one because I know they're close. Because
you've never smelled one, Eric.
No, I've not. I have not.
Brent has.
I've heard the noise.
Sure,
huh?
Hey, maybe the next time we're up hiking, ask the Bigfoot up there if you can smell him. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, so there's some of the local folks up here, upriver, that go to certain spots, and they smell them all the time. And then, that's close to where we're at here, so we can always go camping up in those areas, set up cameras and whatnot, and see if we can pick one up and smell one. Although we might not want to eat breakfast afterwards.
Yeah. I was camping when I smelled one, or I'm sure it was one, anyways.
I'd probably sleep right through the smell.
Oh yeah. I don't think the smell will wake me up. I can go to sleep with an airplane on the ground and wake up midair. When it comes to smells don't wake me up. So, FMP. Let's see. We're going to be in the parade. We have a lot of stuff coming up that we need to talk about. So, we have the 4th of July parade, the Lago Rodeo parade, coming up 4th of July. We have bingo coming up next Friday. We're planning a pancake feed, probably sometime in July. And we have a one-day 3-class divination class coming up. That'll probably happen in August. And then, of course, we have Paracon in September. So again, folks, we still have room for vendors if anyone wants to come and vend. But if you want to get your tickets now, because as we get closer to time, those tickets go quick. So,
Paracon, I'm going to make that food taste good.
Yeah, and we have Matt and Thomas that'll be running kitchen. So we're gonna have great food. I gotta get to a question real quick. Kayla wants to know: is the Green Man a Fae or something else? No, the Green Man is not Fae. The Green Man falls into the deity realm. Green Man is a god. Some call him Fae, but most of your lore that you read about, he's the god of the forest, god of the hunt. And Joe says, going back to Bigfoot, maybe they can spray that odor when they want to, and that's always possible. They have a can of Bigfoot spray. That's
either that, or maybe it's kind of like the big cats with marking their territory.
I would say either marking their territory or trying to run someone out without throwing a rock at them.
Yeah, like a skunk in their defensive smell.
Yeah, that's what that's kind of what I was thinking. And
just never know until you find one.
So
seriously, Trip.
Say that again?
It said just picture the lion spraying and trying not to picture a Bigfoot spraying.
Yeah, no. So as the weather is getting better up here, and hopefully before we have a burn ban, we want to get some camping and some mountain expeditions going. So we'll probably look at July, some of these weekends of getting up into the mountains. I want to find a spot that's got a waterfall with a pool, so we can do some ferry work. I also want to do some Bigfoot trips, and I'm still curious: are we going to pick up spirits in the mountains?
I think we will.
Well, spirits can travel wherever. Spirits are everywhere. So, I have no idea. And up here we've got a lot of 1800s, 1900s. You had loggers. You had disasters and whatnot. So, And Kayla says maybe Bigfoot just eats a lot of skunk cabbage. Yeah, no. I couldn't see eating skunk cabbage. Bigfoot, yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'm not eating no skunk cabbage, Joe. Cole, you got any skunk cabbage
maybe
recipes?
that's the only way to get close to Bigfoot.
No, because I think they're supernatural. It doesn't really matter how much hiding you try to do. I think they're still going to see you. Or sense you, at least.
True.
And so Trippin saying in Washington, yeah, Dave said he had a group deal with something coming down a trail. Was that in Canada or was that here? And was that a Bigfoot or something else? So, talking about dogman or lichens, when it comes to the magical, we know we have lichens. When it comes to the cryptid side, we don't have dogman in Washington that I've heard of. Now, Trippin's asking, most Bigfoot sightings have been by accident, right? I'm thinking, I don't think so. I don't think you can, and I may be wrong. I don't think you can surprise a Bigfoot. Steve did. So it can obviously be done. But Steve was in his car. And when he encountered the Bigfoot he saw, he was driving his car up the mountain. And he rounded a corner. And it was crouched down in the middle of the road. And it heard the crunching of the gravel his car made. But, he wasn't... He was, I guess, shielded by metal in that he was in his car. So, in that aspect, yeah, he could sneak up on him. But if you're actually just walking in the woods, I don't think you can sneak up on him. Just my opinion.
And honestly, if you did, I think that Bigfoot was really not paying attention to anything.
Well, so the one Steve saw was young. He's only about 7-8 foot tall, which is young because usually they get to 9 to 10 foot tall quite often. I think another thing we want to look at is looking at bird nests and trees because Butch Wachowski, when he was on the show here a few months ago, was saying you're going to find more potential Bigfoot hair in bird nests. And, so Joe is saying in the chat, Patterson and Gremlin were able to get close to the Bigfoot because they were on horses. And, again, maybe it's because they were on horses. Maybe it was, the energy of the horses. If you're looking at the supernatural side, it's energy they're detecting. If they were on horses, they were picking up the energy of the horses, not necessarily Patterson and Gremlin.
And honestly, I think that would only really work if there were wild horses in the area, so the Bigfoot was used to sensing that type of energy.
And it's possible. Just some theories to throw out. There's never anything in this field that is hard in fact.
True.
So, again, these are just theories we're throwing out based on the research we've done, based on some of the field work we've done. We have been up in the mountains. We have seen the tracks. We have heard the knocks. We have actually had them knock back in response to knocks we've done, which shows intelligent design. It shows intelligent response.
I mean, me and you have seen a Bigfoot shake trees.
Yeah. That was what, back in 2016? Or 17?
He was either 16 or 17. I can't remember which.
Yeah. And, you know, that was the first time I'd ever even heard a knock. Which, actually, prior to that, I didn't care if Bigfoot existed or not. I really wasn't interested in Bigfoot. But hearing a knock kind of changes things. And that's when we started doing the Bigfoot research and Bigfoot trips and whatnot. But it's kind of cool because, you know...
Especially when you can randomly knock in whatever code and they'll do it right back to you.
Yeah, and what was interesting about that time is, you know, when we dropped our packs, Thomas, and went to the tree that we swear he was by, and didn't see anything, went back to our packs, picked him up, took one step away, and he did it again, but we still couldn't see him. It was like, really? You're...
Yeah.
Really? Come on, show yourself, damn it. And I went back to that spot, I think it was last year, and left a cigarette and left a Matchbox car. It's so far up there, I don't go up on the mountain by myself ever.
Yeah.
That mountain is got a lot of energy to it. It's got a lot of alien energy to it, as well as Bigfoot. So again, yeah, I don't go on the mountain by myself ever. If I take
one thing I'll agree with about that mountain is you get about halfway up it and you start to feel just full of energy.
You feel watched.
That too.
Now, is it cougar? Is it bear? Is it Bigfoot? Who knows? Based on the history of that road, though, that road goes, I think they said, back to the 1800s. The history of that road is that it went across the highway to the, before there was a highway there, it was a ferry across the Skagit River.
Yeah.
So that would indicate a lot of traffic. It would also indicate, a lot of potential disaster, a lot of death. From homesteads, things of that nature.
Especially with how those cliffs are.
Yeah. So you're going to have spirits. You're going to have a whole lot of different potential aspects of the paranormal, just in one area. Anyway, we're down to the last 15 minutes of the show. Stay tuned next week for a roundtable. Are you going to be with us? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're not leaving until July. So yeah. I know there's one weekend you won't be with us. And I can't remember what show we're doing that night either. We'll make sure we do the anniversary show when you're here. So stay tuned in July. The first part of July, we are doing our anniversary show, folks. It's going to be our third anniversary for S4. Tripp is saying, in relation to Bigfoot, along the coast of Washington, the Mick Dodge guy has a Bigfoot outfit made of furs, even has plywood big feety straps on. I'm not surprised. You even go back to the UK where those two Englishmen said they were making crop circles with boards. Okay, so you're making crop circles about 100 to 200 a night in a span of about 1,000 miles. Really? Good luck with that. So yeah, one guy is saying he's Bigfoot. Yeah, there's too many stories. Too many encounters of people for it to be just one guy. It could be a bunch of guys. It could be. I just know, the knocks that we heard when Markham was here last year. The knocks that we heard then was just in the gravel pit. Just a quarter mile from the house, not even, and had tone to it. It was like a bump and a bump bump. that it was weird. And he was excited. And as a scientist, that was the first time we ever even heard a Bigfoot knock. So, Cole, where can we find Statement of Sound DJ services?
You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SOSDJPro.
Outstanding. And again, stay tuned next week for Roundtable. Same time, same good station. And I want to thank Chris and Brent for being on the show tonight, and Thomas and Don, wherever he went, and Cole. And you can find Forest Moon Paranormal if you have any kind of issues or you want to file a Bigfoot or UFO report, or if you're an alien abductee, definitely jump into the group. You can find Forest Moon Paranormal at Facebook, just like Forest. If you want to get your Paracon tickets, go to www.fmparacon.com. And if you want to get your swag bag, your S4 gear, your FMP gear, go to www.s-4radio.com. Anyway, with that, folks, thank you for listening. Keep your eyes to the skies. And we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on S4, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. You can contact S4 through our website at www.s-4radio.com or on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like on our page and join the Forest Moon Paranormal group. If you are interested in advertising, take a look at our packages and contact Cole or Eric at 1-360-999-2830. Again, thank you. And remember, keep your eyes to the sky.